All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech Down Over. This is episode number 26. That's 2 plus 6, which equals 8. So we are getting up there. And today we've got with us Coline Sun Lee, a good friend. Now, I was going to say an old friend, but that would make her feel old. She's not.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah, you're nowhere near us. So anyway, a good friend, a podcaster, a media person, e-learning professional. Geoff and I know she was Geoff's secret guest today. He didn't know she was going to be on.
I didn't know. I'm so excited.
So
yeah, and then these guys make me show up to a black tie event totally unprepared.
Yeah, she's doing fine
with all their cool gadgets. So we'll see what you guys have to throw at me.
She has gadget envy. She's got tons of gadgets.
Well, after I get off the show today, I'm gonna get fitted for my Apple Watch. So
oh no!
I was
wait, you know what?
You're
going to have to watch what we talk about with the Apple Watch, and you'll see what we have in store for you. Anyway, let's do our intro real quick, and then we'll get right back. Here we go.
Okay.
So this time, let's do our formal introductions. Well, here is Geoff Blanchard, our co-host, chief geek, and co-geek. What are you? We're all geeks.
Oh, just a geek. Well, you may notice, I don't know if you will, but my voice will be a bit deeper on the shows as of now.
What'd you do?
Since the clock changed, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, so
earlier.
Voice is always deeper in the morning, so
and then
expect that's why it sounds a bit different.
And then we also have with us somebody who has to make us look good. Finally, we get somebody who makes us look good. It is Coline Sun Lee, and Coline is a good friend, like I said before, and she's also another geek. She's absolute geek. I don't know who's worse, you or us. You're pretty geeky.
Well, you guys are influential in my geekiness, so I would have to say you're worse.
It's like a Russian arms race. Everything we all get, we all want. It's really bad sometimes.
It is.
But it's fun.
I think what saves me is the fact that I don't have kids, so I can technically justify the stuff that I buy.
Yeah, mine have grown up, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes, well, the same thing with me, and I can always justify the things when I do that, because I thought I've always got a bit of equipment to look at. I've got something to hold, where a lot of things you waste your money on, it's just gone down the drain. But at least you've got something to keep, to see what you've spent your money on.
You know, it's interesting, and the technology is changing so fast. I just acquired the Mayo band, whatever, the thalamic band, like a couple of weeks ago. And then a couple of days ago, I'm reading that, well, the purpose that I got the band for was to control my slides wirelessly when I'm presenting in person. And Microsoft released an Android app that allows you to do that. You connect Bluetooth with your cell phone to your computer that you're presenting with, and it allows you to progress your slides and stuff, and I think some other features as well, but it allows you to progress your slides with, hand motions left and right and that type of thing. So it basically, for $199, this app just made my device almost redundant for the purposes of what I got it for, at least.
Let me show you what Geoff does in his spare time. If you think we're strange, you gotta have to see this video. This is what he does, him and his one-man crew, or one-dog crew. Here we go.
What I'm here for is a little bit of an outside broadcast for Tech Down Over. And today what I'm going to be doing is a bit of time-lapse photography with my Panasonic HX1000 camera. And you might see there I've got it on the Canova slider. And just as a hint for anybody else, I would get a little bit more stable a tripod, so it is precariously perched there. So I'm thinking of myself, I should get a bit better quality tripod. Anyway, that's what we've got today to work with. So I just thought I'd show you the setup so you could see when the end result, well, hopefully the end result, it looks a bit cloudy. I'm hoping it's not going to come that cloudy that I have to race off and put all my stuff away, but it's got a few nice clouds for the time-lapse to do that. But why I'm using this one rather than my DSLR is this has got the time-lapse function in it. And the thing I like about that is you're not having that shutter release going about 500 times on the shutter, which might not make a difference, but I think I'm using up my camera a little bit more. But this is nice and quiet, and we'll see how it
I seem to be freezing a lot.
Yeah.
Power supply for the slider there and the controller unit down
there.
There we go. Well, I just thought I'd just give a little preamble to what's going on here, so we can splice a little bit of the footage together and see what comes out, and hopefully what I'm...
All right, I may be able to put a link to the...
We'll do it in the show notes. Yep.
Because now I've uploaded it to RELATECASTS anyway, but the thing was with that, Coline, with that single about 2-minute video I did, I was using my Panasonic HCX1000 camera. I was using my Canon slider, my Canon pan and tilt head, my 3 tripods I had the Canon XC10 filming me. I was using the the HSE9 headset. I was using my Tascam digital recorder for the audio.
Right.
And I had another little Panasonic video camera that I just didn't use. So that sort of justified. I did that because it justified all the expense in all the equipment.
Someone invited me to collaborate with them on a project. Well, I'm doing it for fun, but it's they're gonna shoot a movie, and I'm just gonna tag along to get some of that movie experience. So it's something I'm looking forward to, because a lot of this video that I do is for training and development, and this is going to be more for entertainment, which, the perspective of it is different. But the guy who invited me to collaborate with him on this, he says, well, you have a lot of strong project management skills, and that's kind of really why we want you to kind of, keep us in line and organize things. And so, but then I get to see them do a lot more of the actual production on the movie side, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that would be great, because as I said, I'm wanting to get into that, but you really need to have a bit of an inkling. What do you do for entertainment? It's quite easy for, well, not that easy, but for training, you've got a subject, what you've got to do, but what's entertaining, you really are not too sure. But I think they're quite wise in getting you for project management, because every now and then I go back and watch a video of yours you did for Rick on E-Learn Chat, I think it was, and I always get quite a few hints when I'm a bit, I thought, what am I doing? I'll watch Coline again and get some ideas. So.
That was ages ago. And then I have another session where I focus on the tools. So a lot of people who aren't really interested in, project management theory and stuff, they just really need the tools to help them through, because they're really struggling. So I have another session on that. And then at ICE this year in 2015 in Orlando, the session I'm presenting on is going to be on wearable technology, whether it's a fad or the future of learning. So I'm looking forward to doing that session, seeing where people in our industry are either thinking about, or whether it's just going to be one of those things where we get left behind. Because it's just you just need so much help these days. You try to do everything on your own, but it's you just can't. You've just got to get the best bits out of everybody's processes. And there's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that," but you've got to take a bit from everything. And that's what I've learned. It's like everything in life. Nobody's perfect. It suits your flow. It might not suit mine, but something out of yours will suit mine. And there's just tons of things out there. I used to stress out at first when I first got into this about how am I using the technology? Am I using it this way? But hey, you've got to try it your way first as well, and see if it works as well. So everybody can contribute something. Right. Now, so Rick says, we're going to talk about the Apple Watch. So I'm looking forward to what you guys have to throw at me.
We're going to get soon to the Apple Watch. But we have another thing that Geoff found. It's called the One Man Show. Now, you want to preface this a little bit? It's kind of cool.
Well, what it is, as you just saw briefly in my video, I used the Canon slider, but there's also one called the One Man Show, and it's a slider but it's on like in a slightly U-shaped form, but it has a couple of laser beams on there, so you can aim it at the guest that you're filming, and it'll automatically keep track on them. But what I really do like about it, it's all contained in one unit. It might be heavy or whatever, but like the Canova, there's cables here, cables there. You have to have this attached. But the one-man crew just has everything all in the one package. But why I'm looking at it again now is I've looked at it before, but now it's got a really fantastic iPhone app that controls all the time-lapse features on it. But also, while you're doing an interview for yourself, you can have that set up and aimed at the subject, so you can be doing the interview and your slider's working away by itself. But I think it's only about $1,500-$1,600 all up. So. And you can operate it without the app, of course.
That's pretty good. Let's take a look at it.
Built on the success of the award-winning one-man crew and enhanced by 2 years of customer use and feedback, the one-man crew director delivers a host of new features. Quieter operation, smoother movement, a unique remote control app for mobile devices. A new drive system keeps the one-man crew director quieter in all modes. It's practically silent in interview mode and typically lower than ambient room noise at higher speeds. Precision machined curved tracks keep your shots steadier, resulting in liquid smooth, gorgeous cinematic movement. Keeping true to its origins, the one-man crew director delivers exceptional results for interviews, talking heads, corporate or documentary work, B-roll, inserts, or any other static shot. Whether you're a crew of 1 or a crew of 100, the one-man crew director can enhance production value and improve your shots.
I think I want one of those too.
I want like 2 or 3. I want one that makes 360. I want all.
But it's great unit. But as I said, what I do like is like the Canova does a great job, but it's a bit to set up because it's got cables here. You've got to detach this and attach that. Where that's all in nice. Might be heavy, but it's all in one nice case and that. And it seems like it does a great job. But it just makes that bit difference to your shot when you do have the slider involved as well. So
yeah, and it's got the arc has a really good curvature to it. It's not too harsh. So it gives you that bit of movement, but you don't feel like, with the slider shot, you get a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of brings you into the shot because of the arc on the device. So I like that feature about it a lot.
It's pretty clever. Now take a look at this. This is another one that we all need, the one-man Genie, or the Genie.
The Genie.
The Genie. This is cool. Take a look. That is so cool.
That is a great one, but the only thing that really puts me off about that one is it's going to be about $800.
$800 for that?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a spinning motor.
That's a little too pricey for what you're getting, I think.
Yeah, but the reason why I was looking at that, though, is it justifies a one-man crew even more.
Oh, I see. It basically negates its value.
Well, what's the dog going to do, though? What happens to the dog?
but that's where the one man, because a one man crew can do the same sort of thing on that. But that Genie sort of is a good idea if you need that. If you've just got a tripod and you just want that rotation thing. But that's really, it's an intervalometer. I said that correctly.
Intervalometer.
It's an intervalometer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thingy.
That thing that makes a time lapse work. And that's what it is anyway. That's
And it's
built into
wireless,
that.
right? It looks like it's wireless. It's operated via it's like Bluetooth or something.
Well, there is a cable by the looks of it, but I'm not too sure. But it hasn't been released yet. But I think for $800, that's still going to stay there. I'll invest in something else, I think. But it still is a darn good idea.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, and I like that you can put your phone on it too. Because sometimes you're out. And you don't really want to take a big bag with you. I hate sometimes when I travel and I take my camera bag, and everybody that I'm with, they're kind of a little. In the beginning of the day, it's not too bad, but by 2 in the afternoon, they're kind of annoyed because it's this big bag that I'm lugging around. So that's really non-invasive. It's nice. It's got a small profile, small footprint, and you can take it anywhere with you. Versus the first one, the one-man crew, is a lot bigger.
That's definitely right. That's the thing, is you could have that in your bag and just take it. It wouldn't be inconvenient. With a one-man crew, you really need a separate suitcase or something. It's going to be a big heavy thing.
You have to have that planned ahead, like you're going to use it, type of thing.
All right.
That's right.
Now let's move on to something that Coline was talking about, and that's getting an Apple Watch. She's drinking the Kool-Aid.
No, I drank it.
You drank it.
I'm drunk with Apple Kool-Aid.
But wait till you see this video, and then I don't know if you're going to get the audio now, but if not, you got to go watch it later, because after that, you may not want that Apple Watch. Here we go.
Enough. Okay, I get the point. How do I turn this off? Oh, the Melanie's loop is pretty comfy, actually. Let me check my schedule for the day. Oops, toothpaste. This is Johnny Ive's worst nightmare. Yeah, Apple says don't do this, but come on. Twitter in the shower. What? No reminder to wash behind my ears? And weather check. Windows says umbrella. Apple Watch confirms. Need caffeine now. Oh good, Brian can meet today.
Siri, add a meeting with Brian today at 3.
Talking to your wrist is weird, but weirdly helpful. This feels old-fashioned. Well, I guess I know Geoff is alive because his heart is beating on my wrist. The only appropriate way to respond? With a random mime hand. Seriously, who approved this? Another day, another dollar. Maybe I'll check the headlines. No, not that app. What is this? An interface for people with doll hands? And why are there so many menus? So many notifications. There's no way I'm standing up right now.
I don't know. I mean, it's just been tough lately. One day she likes me, one day she doesn't like me. I don't know. It's just, I just get the feeling she isn't really listening.
Is he really going to talk to me about this again? I wonder if he'll notice if I read some email, or some news, or see what's happening on Twitter.
Joanna, are you even listening to me?
Never touch these little things. Oh, hi, Mr. Murdoch.
Hi. Is that the Apple Watch?
It is.
Can I try it?
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, actually, I need that back.
Nice. I don't have to go digging in my purse for my phone.
I finally got my wedding dress.
Wow. But I finally got my Apple Watch.
You.
Oh, I'm going to be late for my spinning class again. And I still need to change my clothes and my watch band. Okay, so I pop this off. Now here's the sports band. Okay, this is really not that easy or fast. How many calories did that burn, Apple Watch? Okay, exercise app, let's see what you got. Not a bad start. Heart rate at 122. 152 beats per minute. That's really accurate.
Hey, front row.
She talking to me?
We're focusing on our ride, not on the watch.
That's really embarrassing. And my entire workout is now synced to the phone. Almost 250 calories burned. Nice. I'm so hungry. These are so good. And now I just double tap on here and awkwardly hold my wrist up to this, and it works. Okay, that's pretty cool, especially since you don't even need to have your phone nearby. Must get home, must change, must get ready for dinner. You know what would match the flowers on these shoes? A butterfly watch face. Well, even a $650 watch doesn't seem to get me anywhere on time. Sorry I'm late.
They always are.
And welcome to Power Reserve Mode. Apple Watch is down for the count. I've still got some juice left, though. Well, that was a day. Apple Watch. You want to do a lot of things in my life. Sometimes you're helpful. Other times, you're way too complicated, frustrating, and slow. Good night, Apple Watch. There's always tomorrow. Or version 2.
I can't wait to not get one.
No,
You know what's really hard to believe though?
What?
I think because I waited. I'll be honest. I'm gonna come clean. I was up at 12:01, to schedule my appointment, and they were going really, really fast. Like every time I thought, okay, well, I have to do the show with those guys at 3:00. Can I make it to 9? Can I make it to
Now,
10 o'clock
did
or
you
11
get the
o'clock?
girls' watch or the guys' watch, which is bigger?
Well, I don't think there are girls and guys. I think it has to do with the size of your wrist or how much.
No, they actually have a girls' watch and a guys' watch.
No, they have a 42.
Oh, is
and
that
a
what they're doing?
38 millimeter.
Oh, okay.
And now if a guy wants it in pink, I mean, he can do that.
Really?
So that's
Okay.
good. But no, what surprised me is, so I'm following the blogs and I'm doing all this stuff. Apparently, like in China, within the first 30 minutes of it going on sale, the edition version, which is the gold one, which goes from anywhere between like $10,000 to $17,000,
Oh,
were all sold out.
Really?
So glad I didn't want one of those.
Yeah, it'd just be pleasing if you had the money to be able to want one of those.
Well, I actually did want one, but I can't justify it. I'm not going to spend 17 grand on something that's
No.
going to be obsolete in
2
I don't know,
years.
5 minutes.
Yeah, if not, 2 years with luck.
No, yeah, not 2 years for sure. So
Now,
I mean,
I have the Moto 360.
Yeah.
I got it about 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
It's okay. I
yeah,
like the look of it.
I remember looking at it when we ran into each other at
I
Learning
like the
Solutions.
look of it, but it's okay. Now, interesting. What's happened in the last several weeks is you've got Tag Heuer, you've got Rolex, and others who are planning their own really nice digital watches. So that's going to be where the industry is going, because they will have minimal usability, but they'll be digital.
Remember a couple years ago when, you'd see these blogs coming out about all the things that smartphones have replaced, and people would lay all their devices out on the floor and make funny videos out of it. And so, we had like a Palm Pilot and all these different devices. And the watch was actually one of those devices. The camera, the watch, the calendar devices. And now it's interesting to see that watches have actually come back into mainstream, because most people said, well, I don't ever wear a watch. I mean, I have my phone.
I know.
So like, I'm not sure what will take us back to making some of the other devices come back into mainstream. I don't know if it's just that maybe the watch industry is so powerful that they could actually turn the ship around and make us want to have a watch again. Or
Now, how much did the one you got set you back? Was it about 600?
I haven't bought it as yet
haven't?
because
Okay.
I actually wanted to try them on. I didn't want to make a decision. I am going to get a 42 millimeter.
The bigger
I keep
one?
saying
Is
42 inch.
That's the bigger?
That's the bigger one.
More readable.
I think so. I mean, if I'm going to spend that much money, I want to actually be able to use it comfortably and not regret that I didn't get the bigger one. So I'm going to try it on, actually, see what they both feel like. And I don't think I want one of the sport bands. I think I'm going to go with one of the metal bands. So the one that I'm looking at is somewhere between $799 and $999 without any kind of, I'm sure, Apple Care, which they'll probably add on.
Right, another 100.
There.
Now, it's interesting. When I got the Moto, they had the metal bands. They look really cheap. It looked like just cheap junk. And I didn't get metal. I got kind of cheap leather instead.
Right.
And it's okay. It just, it's okay. I like the fact that, I don't want to see this watch face today. I just choose a different one. So I'm not really using it for more than just a watch face. So to me, it's a watch without really caring about anything other than the face. Because in Android, where it's this side of unusable, the next version will have what they call accessibility, where you can make fonts bigger, reverse backgrounds, because you can't read this outside. If you've got the sun on it, good luck. Good luck. You can't see anything it's telling you.
I did a lot of research because I've been wanting a watch like one of these, and I'd looked at one of the Android Wear watches, and based on all of the research that I've done, the spectrum of how bad the bands were, the bands were breaking. People weren't the developers, the people who were making these products weren't actually considering the importance of the band. So people were complaining that the watches would fall off because the band broke off. The screens were a major complaint. People couldn't read it outside. So why would I want to wear a watch indoors only? That kind of defeats the purpose. And so that's what's made me hold out this long for the Apple Watch. And then I've had experiences with Android Wear, huge investments. And by that, I mean 2 pairs of Google Glass, 2 Android Google Nexus phones, which I could lump together and make a bonfire if it got really cold. And so the Google Glass were $1,700 each with tax and shipping and whatever else each. And the Google Nexus phones were like maybe $500 or $600.
You are a true geek.
Right. So I have 2 Google Nexus, 2 Google Glass, and the sum total of it is garbage. And with that, I'm making the investment in Apple because I have now drunk most of the Apple Kool-Aid. So I have the 6 Plus phone, which with the 128 gig. Which
How did you like the 6 Plus?
I love it.
I
can't. I don't want to say. I don't want to sound stupid. I know people are going to watch the episode. Well, I'm hoping they do. It's one of those first world things. We've gotten used to our technology, and I moved from a 4S. So it's not like I'm an early adopter of everything.
Right.
I held out.
Yeah.
And I got the 6 Plus from a 4S. So it's been a major difference in terms of the size. But I've also, when I made the decision to get the 6 Plus, there was a lot of consideration in terms of what do I do with it? I have 3 iPads, and I hardly ever use them for much.
Right.
I've realized that I do a lot of reading on my phone, and so it made a lot more sense for me to get a bigger version of the phone, and it sort of made the iPad more obsolete. I use the iPad if I'm doing a presentation or something, and I don't really want to have a laptop. But having the 6 Plus, and sometimes, because I have 2 external keyboards, I bought both external keyboards. One's a Microsoft keyboard that works with all different devices, and one's a Logitech keyboard that just sort of slips into your purse. So I have the functionality of being able to transition it from being a phone into a very mini tablet, but it's comfortable and it works for me. And that's why I'm going with the Apple Watch. That's why I'm going to make the investment with the Apple Watch, because I've given Windows a really long chance. I mean, I've been using Windows. If I say how long, I'll be aging myself, and I don't want to do that. But Windows 8, 8.1 really lost me. That was when I decided
that's
to
interesting. See,
divorce 8.
Now, I'm liking Windows 8.1 now.
Oh, so you're the person who likes it.
I'm the one.
You're the only person who likes it.
I'm the 0.1 of the 8.
So-
That's it.
Okay, so Rick, so you guys know I spend a lot of money on technology, and for collaboration purposes, I decided to get a Chromecast. So when we're working here, we don't have to be in the same room. We can cast our screen.
Right.
It keeps crashing on 8.1. The machine keeps hanging. Chrome doesn't work very well. I'm not going to use Bing.
Yeah, we haven't had any issues with it.
And, so sent it back in for repair, and they did whatever. They brought it back. It still didn't work, so I got rid of it. And it was like this. I spent an entire day of many days troubleshooting it.
Yeah.
I live across the street from the mall where there's an Apple store, and I said, you know what, I'm done. And I went over to the Apple store, and I bought 2 MacBook Pros. Windows 8.1 pushed me over the edge to getting 2 MacBook Pros, and I haven't regretted it ever since.
But aren't you running Parallels on them, or?
No, I just run 365, Office 365.
Oh, okay.
And then they have the new one. The Mac has 2016, which I'm beta testing. Works fine. There's a
Okay.
couple of features that are not in the regular Windows version, which I really don't care about.
Right.
So that's why I'm making the move, and that's why I've waited this long for the Apple Watch, because consistently Apple has, in my opinion and in my personal experience, delivered on a product that's exceptional and sets itself way above whatever
They've
is
had
on
their,
the market.
See, I'll disagree with you. They've had their issues, and they hide them, and they kind of ignore them, and people forget. I mean, they're not perfect.
No, they're not.
And ever since Jobs passed, they're definitely not perfect. They still come out with stuff. I don't think their quality is as good as it used to be, but it's not bad. I looked at the iPhone 6 Plus, and to me, it didn't do it because I've had the Samsung Notes, but I'm not crazy about the Note either. I've actually got my eye on the HTC M1 or HTC One M9 Plus. That's the one I think I'm probably going to get. Leslie wants a 6 Plus. So all of a sudden, she wants an iPhone.
I don't like the Android ecosystem. I don't like the fact that if I buy a Google version of it, I get the stripped down, which is the version I want of Android. But if I buy a Motorola or whatever other brand, Samsung or something, I have to wait for their internal folks to do their thing so that I can get the latest update.
But they go pretty quick.
For me, I like to update. I like to go from one operating system to the next. I don't want to have to wait 8 months or whatever to go, for example, in this case, what is it, Android 5?
Lollipop. Yeah, which I just got. I just got Lollipop 2 days ago on my Note 4, and I've had it for about 5-6 months. But that's okay. I wasn't expecting it. It just showed up, and things are working sort of odd.
Not sure what version I have. So this is my Nexus, the Nexus 5. I was tempted to get the 6, and then I go, really? You need someone to clubber you over your head to realize how crappy this is? You're going to go spend money on another crappy Android phone?
Well, Coline, that's what I did when I was needing a new phone last December when the iPhone 6 came out. And being over here, I could not get the 129 gigabyte iPhone. And I had to have that one, and still couldn't get it in, until about January, and I still don't think I can get it in good supply. So I got conned myself and went over to the other side to Android. And one of the reasons I did do that, because I only got the Note 4 with the thing that I can swap it over in 12 months. So my justification for that is I'll get the iPhone 6 Plus in a year's time, but they might have upgraded. Then I could probably get the watch, but then I won't get the first generation. I'll be able to, get the next one on there. But as far as, say, the watch, I can certainly see the advantages of that, because one of the things I'm always guilty of is people will give me a call when I'm at work, and I won't see their message or that they'd called until 5 p.m. at night, because at work you don't leave the phone on in the office. You leave it there. You might not feel the vibration or something, but if you've just got that little Rick called, it's urgent, I better get hold of him. Whereas they're the great things I think that the watch is going to be for, not just for the, it'll be a great little timepiece. And I was really pleased to see that when the phone's not in it's left at home and you're 10 miles away, the phone will, the watch will still work and tell time and do all basic things anyway. So, because I was a bit worried that it wouldn't do anything.
Honestly, so when I first got the Google Glass, I read a blog that said that Google Glass is a solution waiting for a problem. And, if you're honest, you think about this stuff and you think, well, that's true. It's not really answering to a specific need. And that's probably why it sort of went away. But I think it was an opportunity for us to start looking at the, devices, how we can wear them and how we can interact with them. And I'll be honest with you, I think all of the watches, in my opinion, are the same thing. They're just a problem waiting for a solution that's waiting for a problem to really exist. I mean, okay, so I'm going to spend that.
You had it right before. It's a problem in search of a solution.
Well, it's a solution.
No. It's a problem in search of a solution.
It's just one of those things where, I mean, yeah, I'm good. So I'm going to spend $1,000 on something that, so I'm going to track my fitness, but I don't work out that much. It's just another thing for me to justify why I'm inactive. Oh, so now with the Apple Watch, I'll suddenly want to go to the gym and track my footsteps and heartbeat and whatever else. But then we also have to think there's this other layer that we're not considering as consumers who are buying into this stuff is our digital footprint and the kind of information that we're putting out there. It's being stored somewhere. And is this stuff going to come back to bite us down the road?
And my biggest fear is you're watching your heart meter and it just goes flat. What do you do?
I must be dead.
I better charge my watch quickly.
Right, but okay, so I've, with all the research, so I did an extensive amount of research as I prepared for my ICE session. I'm doing wearable technology, and not necessarily specific to training and development, but just wearables in general within the organization. A lot of organizations are encouraging their employees to get these fitness bands, and so the watch is just an elevated version of that. But the point is, they're encouraging them to do it, and some companies are even incentivizing their employees to using this because apparently it helps them be more active, which somewhere tangentially they tie it back to the cost of healthcare. Now that's a little bit of a stretch, but at the same time, what I read is that we have to be really concerned about our health information that's being monitored by these devices and how down the road it's going to impact maybe our health coverage or our claims and that type of thing. And we have to be really careful about agreeing to use this stuff. So yes, it's fun. Yes, it's cool. Yeah, I love gadgets. I love, to be an early adopter. But we have to think about the big picture of what does this mean for us? What does this mean for our data and our information and who's tracking it? We have to be a lot more responsible with that.
That's exactly right, and there's always already been that fear that if whoever, you don't know who's tracking it, so you might go and say, I want to get some health insurance. I said, nope, sorry, you're too bad a risk from your lack of activity. We can see you don't do that. You're a candidate for heart attack. We're not going to give you any health insurance.
Because we've tracked your Apple Watch movement or whatever for the last year, and it shows that you're inactive 97% of the time.
Right.
So
That's right.
you've been sitting on your butt for like most of the year. Sorry, we can't cover you.
I did. There was one thing I saw on one of the shows, and somebody had phoned up. I think it was on Leo Laporte's, and somebody phoned up and says, "This app that says about how many steps I've done," it said, I've been using it for 3 weeks now, and I've got about 5,000 steps on. And he said, "What? For 3 weeks, you've only moved 5,000 steps,
right?"
Well, yes, it's because I had a bad bladder. I had to get up and move every so often.
and some of the crazy stuff. For example, okay, yes, I've admitted to drinking the Kool-Aid, but think about this. I couldn't decide, did I want the 38 or the 42 millimeter watch? So Apple says to me, actually, I had called Apple regarding another issue, and I was asking about the watch, and they said, well, you don't really have to wait to go and get fitted. You can just pull it up on the Apple Store app on your phone, and you can hold it up against your wrist to see how it looks. I tried that. Do you know how ridiculously stupid that was? So you have the watch, and then it wraps around. And so I eventually, I don't know, I think I have it on my desk somewhere. I ended up having to print the thing out and making a fake watch so that I could, get a sort of a
rings. The same
because it's essentially this is my phone, and I'm doing this to see how ridiculous. I mean, I could pull it up. How stupid! I think I have a photo of it here. How ridiculous the suggestion was. Let me grab it for you guys real quick so you can get some context with what I'm saying. So this is the image that comes up, right? That's supposed to be the actual size. Okay. And I'm supposed to do this to fit myself for the watch to see if I want a 38.
That's pretty high tech.
Right? How silly. And that's what they're telling people to do. So, there are worse Kool-Aid drink. At least I can defend my Kool-Aid drinking. I'm actually going to try it on before I buy it. But anyway,
I think you have to when you're paying $1,000, and it's not like an iPad. You know what an iPad looks like, feels like. You just know it's got the better things. You don't need to look at it. You just order it. But this thing is, you've seen it all on YouTube's and everything, but you haven't physically seen what it might look like, a monster on your wrist, no matter what the size.
How heavy it feels. I might even, I might come back to you guys and say, hey, you know what? I ended up with the 38 millimeter because it just wasn't. The 42 was just way too huge.
Well, we've got one more topic we want to cover today before we wrap up because we're running a little bit late today, and that is thanks to Skype, and that is the new Canon XC10. XC10. And it's funny because I called it the CX1 this morning. So Clark's looking, and there is a CX1.
It usually is.
It's for taking ophthalmic pictures of the inside of your eye.
Oh, well, that's good.
I can just imagine going to the store and saying,
I need one of them.
I can just see going to Sammy's and going, I'd like to get the CX1, please. Sure. $5,000. So much? Yes, but it's 4K. Great. What does it do? You just put it in front of you and it just blinds you. Oh, that's nice. That's not what I
the
thought.
salesman says, thanks, I just made my quota for the month.
Exactly. No returns, by the way. No deposit, no return. You're done.
The thing was, though, Coline, why we sort of picked on the Canon for this week, and I had a look at it, because last week one of the things we were saying, and other people were saying, that Canon are not coming out with any new products, and as soon as it did that, I see a couple of new products. And
that's not true. They've been coming out consistently. I think there's a new DSLR that I want.
Yeah, but they're very incremental. They've been really liking Panasonic's kicking their butt, and so is Sony at this point. They're just staying behind too far, and this one's interesting because I don't really see it as a great ink. I want it. I mean, just because I want it.
Right.
But it doesn't look any better than the Panasonics we've been getting. But it looks nice because it's small and light. Here, let me show it to you. So this is the Canon XC10.
Hi, I'm Brent Ramsey from Canon USA. My colleague Rudy Winston and I will introduce a totally new 4K video concept from Canon. It is the Canon XC10, and the camera is unlike anything we've ever produced.
Let's take a deeper dive into the Canon XC10's video capabilities.
This is the highlight of the new Canon XC10. The camera delivers 4K quality with high data rates, good enough to be mixed with footage from a high-end Cinema EOS camera, but with operation easy enough for a beginner to shoot web-ready video. Now, a simple switch sets the camera for video recording, and the shutter button starts and stops recording. As you can see, the image quality numbers are outstanding, and it's more than just pixels. A big reason for this 4K video quality is a completely new Canon codec based on the MPEG-4 compression format called XF-AVC. At 4K, this is intra-frame compression, so every frame has full video data and information. For video, a choice of looks, including Canon Log and YDR, make it easy to adjust color rendering. You can match it to the Cinema EOS system and achieve a wide dynamic range. And a variety of frame rates, including slow and fast motion HD, are available. The XC10 records 4K in camera, and it has 2 card slots. New, extremely high-performance CFast 2.0 cards are used for 4K recording, and HD or still images are recorded on an SD card. So, no external recorders are needed. For a quick look at still image capabilities, let me turn things back over to my colleague Rudy Winston.
The Canon XC10 has 2 methods to produce still images. In-camera frame grabs from 4K or 1080p full HD video, or a separate still image shooting mode. What makes frame grabs such an attractive option with the XC10 is that they can be done completely in camera. It makes the XC10 a perfect camera for multimedia productions and journalism. Record video, play it back, pause it when you reach a frame you like, and copy a JPEG image to the SD card with a button press. At 4K, that's an 8.3 million pixel file, roughly 1.5 to 2 megabytes in file size. There's also a totally separate still image mode that can record up to 12 million pixel JPEG images. Either way, JPEGs from this camera are immediately available and well suited for nearly any online or on-screen use, as well as many printed applications. With the XC10's built-in Wi-Fi, it's easy to either grab a 4K frame or shoot a still image, transfer it to your smartphone, and then share it almost anywhere.
The bottom line is simple. Here's a camera with stunning real-world video abilities that can almost instantly provide great still images for anything from web use to publication. It's a combination that should fit many users very well from casual users to working professionals. On behalf of my colleague Rudy Winston, I'm Brent Ramsey, and thanks for watching.
Now, I've got some immediate concerns about that. For $2,500, you're getting a 1-inch sensor, which is not even getting echo. Which is not even a Micro Four Thirds sensor. That's a little odd. They went for a 1-inch when Panasonic's doing minimum 1.33 and some bigger ones. That's the size of the sensor on the PowerShot, the G15 and 16. That's a little small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means you're not going to get the resolution and the depth of field and everything else. You might with the lens. I'm not sure how good the lens is, but I don't remember what the speed was on the lens. But I don't know. I kind of want it only because it looks cool and it looks interesting and new and it might be a good camera, but it doesn't sound like a powerhouse of a camera. And they're using compact flash cards. Why?
Wow.
And the thing is, it's got the form factor. It's just, I think they say it's about the same size as the 70D. So that's the sort of how it will feel in the hand on there. But
that's sort of heavy.
With us having the FZ1000, the Panasonic one, I think that's a much better value camera.
It is for $900.
For 900, for 1,000, and like Coline was saying before, carrying heavy things about, I've started to take that Panasonic more than I'm using my Canon because
it's not bad.
It's so down light, and plus it's got a great picture, normal stills, but it's also got 4K video and you can do slow motion with the 120 frames a second on standard.
And if you notice when they were talking about 4K. I don't think it does more than 30p on 4K. They said you can get slow motion in HD. So, Canon, you're lagging. Sorry, you're just lagging. I don't see the real... I mean, I don't know. I'd have to feel it and see what it looks like. But
what it seems like, it might be one of the things for them to get a 4K into the lower end, because the same release, they also released the EOS C300 Mark II at $20,000.
Yeah, but the lower end, look, Canon's got the
Wow, that's 1.5 Apple Watches.
Yeah, but look at the look at the Panasonic GH4, which at $1,500 plus one lens, you're at $2,500. That's the price of that. You get you get the full 4K in two cinema modes plus the slow motion of 120 frames a second. I think that's 100 frames a second, and you're not going to get that in that Canon doesn't do slow mo in 4K. It only does it in HD. So I don't see the value proposition on this one.
Who did they say the target audience is for that device?
NGO, news gathering organizations.
Wow, I thought they did all that stuff with phones now.
No, they're still using the better quality. Though, you know what? I didn't bring that into this show. Okay, this is what both of you want, including me.
Oh.
I think it is the Panasonic CM1. Brand new camera phone. It's a camera first with an attached Android phone, 6 or 7-inch Android phone. It's a little thicker than a regular phone because of the camera components, but it shoots full 4K. It's got fast lens. It's interesting. You probably look like a total nerd with it, but it looks interesting.
Any more than
normally.
Google Glass or
yeah, exactly.
So just really quick, crazy because I get all excited when we're talking about this stuff. So I'm reading this blog this morning. I think it was on the Next Web, TNW, and there's some wearable conference going on somewhere, and there's this picture of this guy. I posted it in Twitter. He's got something that looks kind of like an Oculus Rift. I don't know if it was or wasn't. I can't remember. But anyway, he's doing like a keynote or something. There's this auditorium, standing room only room full of all these attendees. And this guy's got this thing on and he's advancing his slides that way.
Interesting.
So when do we draw the line from functionality to just plain like eccentric almost? I mean, wouldn't you want to see your audience's reaction to what you're presenting versus wowing them with the technology?
But the thing is, what I can also see is when you go, and now, and then you shut down the whole presentation because you've done.
And so the guy's got this he's got this thing on, and he's like grabbing out in space, and they're like, "Wow, he's advancing his slides with this thing on," and he just looks crazy.
Well, I must admit, when I do some presentations at work, I do that sometimes to when I know people are not interested in what I'm doing, and I just don't tell them, and I've got it on a whiteboard, and then when I start interacting with, pressing the button and it works on the screen, it's something so simple, but a lot of people, how are you doing that? Because on these interactive whiteboards, but it's
and we've gotten to the point where technology is advancing so quickly that we're in a constant state of beta.
Oh yeah.
There's no device that comes out there that's really polished and it just works out of the gate.
I'm not even sure we're out of alpha yet. Sometimes.
But
so
also to say that with there's so much like they were saying with the people who wrote Windows years ago. They said it used to be people who wrote the Windows program. There was about two or three, they know everything. But now there's 500,000 people. There's one person who just writes the little close button in the top right hand. That's their job to do that because it's so complicated. Yep, and whereas you just can't know everything these days.
Right.
Well, we are at the end of our time, and this was fun. This is a good
it
time.
Was.
Colleen, you've got to come back on.
Thanks, guys. I had a blast. Next time I'll come back when I get my watch, and we
share the watch experience. And whenever you want to waste money or spend money, just come on. We'll get you lots of things to get you excited about.
Yes, I see. I've been making my little shopping list here.
I was saying before, Coline, when we were talking ages ago about Google Glass, I said the only person I've seen who looks really cool with Google Glass is you. Other people just look silly. But I said when you wear Google Glass, it looks really cool.
Well, thank you, Geoff. That's awesome, but there's that's the solution. I haven't found the problem for it yet.
No, that's right. We'll find one eventually.
Yep. We will. But have you seen the one that Sony brought out that actually has like cords and stuff tethered? Wow. And I thought to myself, they were giving Google Glass so much crap, and look at how ugly that device is.
Yeah. But it's Sony.
Yeah. So
anyway, well, hey, you guys have a great one. And if you're watching the recordings, please subscribe. We are on Vimeo and YouTube. So keep your eyes open for episodes and subscribe. Subscribe to both. You can't have enough of it, right?
No, definitely not.
So we will see you guys next week on Tech Down Over. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks, Coline. Thanks, Geoff.
You bet, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for having me.